Okay, good morning, everybody. I'm sitting here with Cory Warfield, who is the founder and CEO of Shedwool, which is a very interesting online platform, which is basically designed to help small, medium, and even large-sized corporations to much easier schedule their shifts for their particular staff and have a lot more control over that. So good morning, Cory. Welcome to the
Good
interview.
morning. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. Now, what can you tell me about Shedwool and how you actually got started with this particular platform?
Absolutely. So I spent about 20 years working in restaurants in the hospitality industry. Effectively every station you can think of, from dishwasher to corporate manager, F&B director. I've run kitchens. Although my wife will tell you I've only got a couple dishes. I've run some kitchens in addition to doing a lot of kind of the front of the house service and training. And in that 20 years, every day was a problem revolving around scheduling. And that didn't matter if I was a shift worker, if I was the manager of the shift workers. As a waiter, you'd be overstaffed and you wouldn't make nearly as much money, or you'd be overstaffed or understaffed rather, and running around like crazy. And the on-call shifts were a huge bane to our existence. You never knew if you were working, and as a manager, it was very hard to forecast. And so after those 20 years, about half of which were kind of spent pre-software, and so we didn't have anything to optimize. Second half being with scheduling software that we knew, used, and loved, but we always, kind of sat around the quote unquote water cooler talking about how they could be better and what we wish they would do, particularly from a time savings perspective. These things are supposed to save so much time, but half the time they take just as much time to use. And so when we got bought by a very wealthy gentleman that made his fortune by squeezing nickels, he saw how expensive the solution we'd been using were at the last steakhouse I ever worked at. He took it away. I looked for a more affordable solution, and when I couldn't find one, I created one. It took us about a year and a half in development. Been live on the market for about a year now, and we're getting ready to release our version 2 with a number of integrations and time and attendance as well. So it's been a fun journey.
Fantastic. It's a very impressive platform. And can you tell us a little bit about the different types and the different sizes of companies and businesses and organizations, et cetera, that you've actually got using this particular platform?
Absolutely. So kind of, we've got our bread and butter being the restaurants, casinos, and hotels, kind of anything in the hospitality industry, which is my frame of reference. But we've now found we have police and fire departments, hospitals, golf courses, universities, retail outlets, stadium. We have a stadium. So kind of a really broad use case. We have some smaller kind of familial use cases. We've got some dog walkers using the platform. Some volunteers to take care of a paraplegic, or rather a quadriplegic veteran here, kind of around the clock. And so there are a whole lot of applications for this. And effectively, anyone working a changing schedule can benefit from this, either as the worker itself or as the person that has to schedule the workers and make sure that they're in the right place at the right time.
And what sort of feedback are you getting from your clients or your customers about their experience with this particular platform, Shedwool?
Yeah, so we've taken some pretty good press and some great reviews, whether it's Capterra or on the App Store, Google Play. And what people really seem to love is, first and foremost, our customer support. We have the Intercom app available on the website and the app, so you push a button, we're there for you. But people also love how we've kind of optimized a lot of the scheduling process itself. So a lot of drag and drop and then copy and paste. Everything's seamless between the web and mobile apps. We don't charge for the download of the mobile apps like a lot of our competitors do. And we've really just kind of try to reinvent the wheel with this thing. If a software solution is intended to save time, we think that every step of the way should be a time-saving endeavor. So that's what we've kind of put together, and people really seem to just be impressed with the ease of use.
Yeah. But one of the things that I noticed with it is when I first looked at it, I thought for medium to larger size companies and corporations, it's absolutely perfect for staff training, for example. You can slide in a link to a particular module or a video or a training, and you can set that link to go to people at particular times that's going to be workable within their shifts or after their shifts, whenever you like. And I just thought it was perfect.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We were surprised when we didn't see a media upload in any of our competitors, because this can be used, as you said, for training, for pre-shift meetings, for a number of different time-saving, use cases. What we've also found is that it's a great place to evangelize and to kind of work on community building and culture as well. So, that's another thing that we're really excited about. And as we move kind of more into the gamification, we'll be able to actually have that as a training platform to really get ready for your first day, or if you're a temporary worker, get you ready to walk in the door, ready to rock and know exactly what you're doing.
So an induction day, training days, ongoing training and support, all that kind of thing that companies need to improve the performance of their staff and their teams.
Absolutely.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds impressive. And so tell me, what have been the actual challenges, some of the challenges that you've gone through getting this platform to where it is now, where it's seriously impressing your target market and your target audience?
Well, first of all, I appreciate that. I would say I spend a lot of time trying to raise money because kind of in the software world and the app world, that's the sexy thing to do, and it's the thing that everyone thinks you're supposed to do. And first of all, we've grown to I think 50,000 downloads and 500,000 shifts published on the platform without really raising any money. So in retrospect, we didn't need to go out and raise money. I should have probably been out talking to potential customers even more, and talking to people about what they really wanted in a scheduling solution, and potentially just working on some of the initiatives, our marketing, some of our collateral that I ended up spending some money on. I probably could have done just as good of a job with all by myself. So I think that might have been a misappropriation of resources. And of course, once we stopped trying to raise money, is when we started making money, and then people wanted to throw money at us, right? So it's kind of this fun, we're the dog chasing its tail, as it were. But I think just the mindset around raising capital for an early stage company was probably the biggest challenge. And, we kept getting so close we could taste it, yet we never quite feasted upon, that spread. And I think in retrospect, I would have just absolutely abandoned the idea of raising money and just, doubled down on building product, building team, and building revenue.
Yep. And well, congratulations to you on all of that entire journey, I should say. Now, how are you actually getting the message out there to the right people about this particular platform?
So we've begun doing some marketing. So we're spending a little bit on Facebook ads and Instagram ads, and we've got some really talented designers on the team, and so we've been putting together some videos and some commercials that have been a lot of fun. But I would say one of the things that's been very effective for us is that I took LinkedIn very seriously. I got active on the platform about a year ago today, and I just started really targeting my archetypical customers, my archetypical partners, really tried to do the best of my ability to establish myself as a thought leader. And so we've actually had a number of our bigger accounts, and a lot of the interest has been inbound just because I'm able to talk about workforce management and labor optimization and culture and things of that nature. And I get anywhere from it's a pretty big discrepancy, but anywhere from 100,000 to 500,000 views a week I'll get on my content on LinkedIn alone. So it's been really great to have that visibility and just kind of use that and leverage what I put together as a persona on that platform to reach all of our target customers.
So how are you finding LinkedIn in comparison to Facebook?
For me, it's a night and day difference. For Facebook, I could get a relative amount of engagement, but there's no way for me to know that it was the decision maker. And to not know what someone's title and position and role is, to not be able to go and kind of see where someone falls and certain decision making steps of, I just have no clue. I found myself really spinning my tires and wasting a lot of time on Facebook, whereas with LinkedIn, I can get right in and I can be surgical. I can find if it's a CIO or if it's a director of operations or if it's a franchisor, I can quite literally identify them within seconds, and then I can figure out a sales strategy based on that. So it's been, I often say kind of jokingly, but I don't know what Facebook is anymore. I mean, I'm on LinkedIn all day, every day, and I'm looking for another great platform, but right now I don't know of one.
Geez, you better not let Facebook hear that. But I understand exactly where you're coming from. One of the beautiful things I find about LinkedIn, I describe it as the world's largest database of businesses and the business people within them. And the ability of LinkedIn to be able to target, to fine tune the targeting of who you want to get your message in front of is absolutely extraordinary. I mean, years ago, you may have experienced people doing mail outs and that kind of thing, and then following up and trying to get in front of the right person eventually. Whereas with LinkedIn, you can find that right person down to a T, literally within seconds or minutes at the very most, and then basically start to establish, build, and nurture the relationship with them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been it's been amazing. My board wanted me to reach out to someone within an organization today, and I've got a coffee scheduled with them in a few days already. I just connected with them, sent a message, and it was that easy. And so, nothing in life is easy, and certain relationships you really have to work at cultivating and being strategic about, even on LinkedIn. But I think the opportunity is, to find that door to knock on, and to probably even be somewhat expected when they open the door. And I don't see that opportunity on any other platform.
Yeah, it's a great platform for building that relationship before you actually get started, so to speak. Yeah, absolutely. And tell me a little bit about the branding, Shedwool. I've got to ask you, where does the term or the brand or the name Shedwool come from?
It's funny because down in your part of the world, for your listeners that don't know, I'm here in Chicago in the United States, and a lot of people from Australia and from the Southern Hemisphere or anywhere kind of under the crown, just kind of they hear the word Shedwool, and when I say it's the word schedule, it's kind of a moment of clarity. But I'm sure many of your neighbors and people down there will just say, did you check your Shedwool? Well, apparently they say schedule, and it's such a strange pronunciation for me, with the phonetics and the spelling of the word. And to me, the appropriate way to say it is Shedwool, and up here no one does. And so we thought it was kind of fun. And once you understand that it's our way of saying schedule, you're kind of in the club. But we wanted to have fun with the name. We didn't see a competitor in our space with a name that wasn't very sterile and frankly very long and kind of not fun to say. And so we're looking to have our users use it as vernacular, kind of, did you check your Shedwool? I need to go on my Shedwool and check whatever it is. And so we've been having some fun with it. And we find that our users really kind of have fun playing with the name as well.
Well, that's interesting, because that's obviously going to make it easier for them to remember.
Yeah.
And refer and recommend it to their friends in business. That's fantastic. All right. Well, thank you very much for those insights about Shedwool, Cory. We really appreciate that. It's a very impressive platform. It's highly recommended. If you're a small, medium, or larger size corporation with any number of staff, I highly suggest that you have a look at this platform, download the app, check it out for yourself. It's drop dead easy to use, and I'm sure it's going to make your scheduling in business and for all of your team so much more easier. So, Cory, thank you very much for joining us today.
It was a pleasure. If anyone mentions that they're a fan of yours or mine when they reach out, my team will do something nice for them.
All right, thank you. We appreciate that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.